Live fitter and longer with the Fitness Show, hosted by fitness expert, author, and TV personality Fitz Kohler. She'll tell you why diets are dumb, supplements are snake oil, and the truth about how you can earn a lean, hard, pain-free, and athletic body. Now for our favorite bossy blonde, Fitz Kohler.
Hi team, I'm Fitz Kohler, your fitness expert and very noisy race announcer from Fitzness.com, and welcome to the Fitzness Show. So this is an interesting show to do because I traditionally don't like to talk about myself. So my business, my brand is about you. How do I get you fitter, help you live better and longer, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And so to even have a graphic published that's like, hey, guess what Fitz is doing at the Boston Marathon is a little out of character. However, I think it's totally worth it. And I'm really excited to share with you guys what's going on. So I'm going to start by saying, you know, the Boston Marathon in general is special. And you might be like, Fitz, you're at all these races all the time. Why is this one special? And it's true. The events that I announce are iconic. I announce the Philadelphia Marathon and Buffalo and the Big Sur Marathon and the Los Angeles Marathon. And, you know, I certainly get around when it comes to amazing running events. And I also participate in some fantastic events. But Boston, there's something special about Boston, and anyone who does participate in running events knows this. And so comments are starting to come in. Hi, Lori. And please feel free, use the comment section, say hi. I want you guys to interact. I've got the mystery guest. Hello, hey person, Brian Solberg, Dr. Brian Solberg, who's done many Boston marathons himself. But yeah, so I get around town in the running industry, and I'm no stranger to incredible events. However, Boston's special. Boston, this is the oldest annual marathon in the United States. It was created in 1897. This is the 125th anniversary of the Boston Marathon. The Boston Marathon started off teeny tiny, and now it boasts about 30,000 athletes per year, which is sizey. It's not the largest in the country, but it's one of the most special for a few reasons. We'll start with the fact that it's a qualifying race. So people have to fight to get into the Boston Marathon. Speedy people. Hey, Dennis Lebman, mystery man, international man of mystery. That's you now. So anyways, people have to fight to get into the Boston Marathon by earning a place, by running another marathon first, earning a specific time, submitting it, and then perhaps they're chosen to qualify. And then there's also a good category of people who may not be speedsters, but they take on charity bibs. And so I believe the number is about $50 million a year raised for awesome causes because of the Boston Marathon. So Dave McGillivray is actually going to be a guest. He's going to show up in a few minutes, and I'll bring him on and he can clarify those numbers. But the other thing that I find truly valuable about the Boston Marathon, hi Sierra, good to see you, is that there's so much crowd support. And as you know, I'm the queen of happy, right? I love big energy at races. I love the love at our races, right? I love the fact that so many people come out because they care about their own health, or they care about their communities and great causes, or all three. And we all exercise to do something good. And as you know, exercise is what I've made my life out of. And so from word has it, for Boston, spectators line the street from beginning to end, and the crowd support is incredible. And so I have been invited to be at Boston this year. And so before I get to tell you exactly what I'm going to be doing there, I want to take a little poll to see what you guys think I'm going to do. So use the comment section wherever you are. I'm broadcasting on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, somewhere else. I can't remember them all, but you can use the comment section and I'll see those messages just like I am right here. So there's a few options here. So number one, I'm announcing. So if you think I'm announcing, just write that. I think you're announcing. Number two, I used to be speaking, teaching a clinic at the Boston Marathon. So I do a lot of speaking at these races. Number three, I could be running the Boston Marathon. And number four, I could be hosting the world's largest TikTok dance party of runners at the expo of race weekend. So I want to know what you think I'm doing. So use that comment section. And I'm just doing a little poll to see what you think I am doing at the Boston Marathon. So this is the awkward part where I wait for your responses. As I sit here alone waiting, you guys are very, very slow typists. Okay, so Brian Solberg says he thinks I'm speaking, teaching a clinic, doing a TikTok, and coming to run with him. Lori, all right, hold on. Let's back up. Let's back up. So Lori says dance party for sure. Brian Solberg speaking, clinic, and TikTok. Could I keep up with you, Brian? All of the above. That would be amazing. Steve thinks it's the TikTok party. Rudy would dance with me. I love making Rudy dance. In fact, I love making all the people around me dance. Rudy is particularly fun to pick on, but if you're a race director in my crew, yeah, you gotta dance. At some point, you get your shining moment. All right, Katie, number 4, TikTok. Bill, TikTok party. You guys are so enthusiastic about me shaking my booty, which I'm so good at, by the way. I'm such a great dancer. Bill, Rye, D, all of the above. You're awesome representing the 352. That's right. And Dennis also with the dance party. So this is great. This is great. I think we just found an idea. So I'm going to tell you the truth, what I'm actually doing. Again, I was super excited to share this. As you can tell, the shit-eating grin. So last week I interviewed Meb Keflezighi. Meb is a iconic running legend. He's been on 4 American Olympic teams. He's won silver in the marathon. He won the New York City Marathon, and then he won Boston in 2014, the year after the bombing. It was so great. I mean, his interview from top to bottom is spectacular. If you haven't seen it yet, go back, go onto my Fitzness page on Facebook or my YouTube. All of these channels, you'll see it. So Meb's interview was great. And I actually blame Meb for this because I do his interview, and then about an hour later, I get a phone call. And so the phone call comes from my friend, Vince Varallo. And so Valero. So Vince, I met at the Philadelphia Marathon a year and a half ago when I was announcing. He had a whole crew of Boston Buddies. Boston Buddies are people who train to qualify for the Boston Marathon. And they also do a bunch of really cool charitable things. I mean, it's just a great organization. As many of my people know, I run in great circles of great humans with all of my athletes. So anyways, about an hour after the Meb interview, Vince calls. Hey, Fitz, how are you doing? Good, Vince. How's it going? Gosh, that was a great interview with Meb. Wasn't that great? And of course, Meb's story, so inspiring. Again, he grew up in a war-torn, poor country, practically eating dirt. And this is like, he's the big deal runner. So Vince goes, so what do you think about coming to the Boston Marathon? I was like, I'd love to. Now, mind you, as many of you can guess, I would love to announce the Boston Marathon. I love announcing all my races, but that would certainly be a hell of a good time. I would love to announce the Boston Marathon. I'd love to speak at the Boston Marathon. I'd love to do the professional thing I do at this professional running event. But Vince goes, we have a charity bib, and we would like you to run the Boston Marathon. So this is where I go with that. I said, well, I've never done a full marathon before. And I never really wanted to. I can honestly say that I have completed many half marathons, and I've never crossed the finish line and thought, gee, I wish I could do that again right now. But Vince says, well, it's for a really great cause. It's for Second Step, which is they provide resources and shelter for battered men, women, and children, survivors of abuse, domestic violence. Would you do it? And so at that point, I started cursing at Vince. I started saying, you son of a bitch. Why would you ask me to do this? This is very stressful. And the reason it's very stressful is because it's the Boston Marathon. And so if he asked me to run, I don't know, XYZ marathon here in Gainesville, the answer would be hell to the no. Sorry, not doing it. No way. Thank you very much. I'll write a check and donate to that great cause. But it's Boston. And so, Vince, you son of a bitch, I said, I hate you for asking me this question because I've always thought I'm not going to run any marathon ever unless it were Boston, unless it were fantastic. So in my theory, I said, I hate your guts and I need 24 hours. He said, well, I have to have the answer within a few days. And I was like, I hate your guts. I hope you have a horrible night's sleep. So anyways, I slept on it. And, you know, I had a rough year. I had a rough year and a half, you know, but that was really hard. You know, the thing I did, the cancer thing, that was really hard. I've run in pain, a little bit of suffering in running for sure. I've been there. Not a good time. My 10 years as a full contact kickboxer, that was hard. It was a hell of a lot of fun, but it was hard. I was bruised and I don't know, 30 plus broken bones. That was hard, but that was fun. But nothing will ever come close to this. And then when you get to survive something like you have cancer, you know, shame on you if you don't take every single opportunity to live moving forward. So I go swimming. I do a lot of thinking while I'm swimming. And I thought, oh, what should I do? Blah, 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 blah. Can I walk it? And I also have a couple lingering injuries from my fighting days, a knee and a hip. And, you know, the things that make me cranky, the things that make me think, can I do this? But then I thought of you. And I thought of all of you incredible people that I surround myself with weekend after weekend. And I witness greatness out on those courses. And there's so many people that, you know, they show up at the start line and I think, what got you here? What got you here? I mean, that's the best part of the race is when I see someone show up at the start of any distance race and I think, how did you get here? What is your story? And then when I see them come through the finish line, my heart explodes. Some of these people I've never met, I'll never meet again, and I love them instantly. And I think you are the greatest person alive, and I can't believe you did that, and you did it, and I love you so much. That's the best. And so it's because of you that I thought, you know what, I can do this too. I can do this too. I've seen incredible people of all types, people of all weights, all sizes, all races, all genders, all religions, I've seen people finish marathons with 0 legs. That's right, 0 legs finishing marathons. And so because of you, I got out of that pool and I told my swimming buddy, Ann, I said, son of a bitch, I'm gonna run the Boston Marathon. And so, and then I sent an email to my friend, Dave McGillivray, who is the race director of the Boston Marathon, long time. And Dave is also an inspiration with so much accomplishments. He actually he directs the whole race. And then when everybody else is done, he gets out and he runs the thing. So I thought, well, I don't really have any excuses. So I emailed Dave and said, I'm a little nervous. What do you think? And he said, why would you miss this opportunity of a lifetime? And of course, I wouldn't. And so that's my big announcement. I'm not announcing, wow, I wish I was. I'm not speaking, wow, I wish I was. But I get to go be an athlete. And the training has already begun. And I'm going to tell you about that. Usually with Fitzness, I don't talk about my workouts, and you probably notice a lack of, you know, the selfies at the gym. I don't do that because my brand, this one right here, is about you. Fitzness is about helping you live better and longer, and it's not about me. So I don't really showcase what I do for exercise, but I think this is a good opportunity. I'm starting as, I'm not necessarily a beginner, but I'm starting from a very low level, and you know, it was just a year ago I finished chemo. And that wasn't a fun time. It was a little over a year ago that I was fighting to get up the hill that I live on. If any of you have read the book, you'll read about Killer Hill and how, you know, when I got to the bottom of the hill on one of my first walks, I had to call home and say, can you pick me up? Because I can't walk up the hill. And so I'm kind of like right out of that. And I've been working all year not to be in marathon shape. I'm working to to put on weight. You know, I lost so much weight. I lost 13 pounds, and off of a little lady like me, that was a lot. And so I've just been working on getting strong and being healthy. And I'm very proud that I have accomplished those things. And it's just perfect timing. So it's the Meb thing and the call from Vince and, you know, the why the heck wouldn't you pursue this opportunity from Dave? And I just decided, yes, I'm going to do this. And so I feel right now that I'm back to being healthy Fitz Kohler, and I'm planning by October 11th to be one badass Fitz Kohler who can run really, really far with walking breaks. But I'm thrilled to death, super excited. I'm not going to eat up so much of his time. So I'm going to take a moment now to bring on the one and only Mr. Dave McGillivray. Hi, Dave.
How are you?
Well, I'm excited.
So listen, 6 months before the 2019 Boston Marathon, I think you know this, I had a decision to make, and that was whether or not to undergo open heart triple bypass surgery. So I turned to my heart surgeon and I said, I have a question to ask you. He said, what's that? I said, in 6 months, there's this little jogathon in April in Boston that I've shuffled through a few times. And I said, what do you think? And he gave me the best possible answer. He didn't say, no, I don't think you can do it. He didn't say, yes, I think you can do it. He said, I'd be extremely disappointed if you couldn't do it. And that gave me that 4-letter word that we're all dealing with today, and that is hope. And that's what I have to say to you, Fitz. That's what I have to say. I'd be extremely disappointed if you didn't do it. You will do this. It's all about perspective. It's perspective, right? And when people ask me all the time, they say, hey, Dave, you've run 160 marathons. What's the toughest part? And I always say, the toughest part is signing the application, is having the guts and the courage to make the commitment to not only yourself, but to others, loved ones, and to a greater purpose for those who are doing it for something bigger than themselves. And you're doing that. You're doing that. So the toughest part, I'm telling you right now, it's 26.2 no matter how you slice and dice it.
Right.
It's not that easy, but the toughest part is over. Running from the start to the finish is the victory lap.
I love it. I'm ready for that.
Yeah.
I've spent my whole life being like, I don't want to do a marathon. And then now all of a sudden, I'm really excited to do a marathon. Your marathon.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's going to be very different, though. This is the 125th. So the 124 before this was done in a certain fashion, like all the other marathons we have witnessed. One gun, one start, or wave starts, or everyone running together, or whatever it might be. And this one, not quite that way, which is okay. It is what it is.
There, just one at a time.
Well, it's rolling start. Yeah. And, you know, who knows how it's all going to play out once we get closer and closer to it. Things seem to change every day. The only thing that's certain in the world today is that everything is uncertain, and, you know, all those cliches, but it will be different, but it will be epic for you. Trust me. And, you know, I'm not saying this because I've been associated with this race for almost 50 years, but I've been told this by runners all over the planet that it is the Holy Grail, that it is the Super Bowl, the World Series, the Kentucky Derby, the Tour de France in our industry.
Yeah.
And that's the stage that you're being welcomed to. And that's the stage that you will perform and you will succeed. And once you cross the finish line, you'll get a medal.
With a
and then
on
that,
it.
Yeah, well, and then magic happens. Like to you and like everyone else, you go home feeling good about yourself. And there's nothing more powerful in this world than to feel good about yourself, because it's the foundation by which we accomplish everything in our lives.
Yeah.
So really looking forward to you coming to Boston in October and running from Hopkinton to Boylston Street. And I'll be there waiting for you and giving you your medal.
I'm super excited about that. I believe you will be there. I have a feeling we're going to have the cutest selfies of the day. This is of high priority. And then, do you want to see what I got? This is a true commitment. And people who know, they know. If you don't know, you don't know. But the thing that people like besides the medal is they want the finisher jacket, but you can't wear the finisher jacket until you've run the race. And look what came in the mail today.
Look at you, huh? Swag.
I know, it took me about, I don't know, 2 hours. I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. Hot damn, I'm going to get a jacket. So this is my...
Look at that, huh? Wow. I don't even have one of those, for crying out loud.
You got to wait until October 11th. But yeah, I'm so excited. And it's funny, I have so many jackets, as you can imagine, as all of these pieces I announce, everyone's like, here's a jacket. You got to wear the stuff. $110 worth every penny. And it will hang in my closet as motivation. Be able to put it on and go out with it one day. I did try it on to see if it fit, and thankfully it did. But the other thing I'm super excited about is, on occasion, the jackets come in wonky colors.
Yeah, exactly.
This is not wonky at all. Everybody look at this. Is this the best reason to run 26.2 miles? And it's not just 26.2, because I've already started training. I dove into it on Saturday. I did 10 miles, Dave. I haven't done 10 miles.
I saw that. But, you got to start somewhere. You do 10, and then you'll do a half marathon distance, and you'll get there. You still have 4.5 months. It's plenty of time.
I know. And I'm going to be patient. I'm doing 12 tomorrow, and I've done a few, ran a few here and there. So I'm doing a lot of walking too. So I'm being gentle with myself, but, yeah, I'm super excited. What else did I want to ask you? There was something I still have the key.
Some tips, okay? So to run Boston well, you should know the course. And I know you don't live out here, so you can't train on the course. But, it is a course that's not flat and fast. It's undulating. The first, quarter mile is almost a 200-foot drop. So there's a lot of interesting dynamics to this course that other courses don't offer up. And so if you can just look at an elevation map, if you can simulate our course in your training, you can find roads that are similar to what our course is and run on those roads, and run downhills where our downhills are and uphills where our uphills are in your training. That'll at least physiologically get your body prepared for this course versus a marathon. You have to train for the Boston Marathon, not train for a marathon. There is a big difference.
So this is one of my weak points here, is that I live in Florida.
Yeah, I understand. Bridges, I don't know.
But the hill marathon is actually...
Figure it out. Take a trip and do a long run somewhere in Colorado or something, and then come home.
Somewhere. I'm thinking about doing a long run when I'm in Buffalo to announce there.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah, there will be some.
You got to figure it out. So that's one. Two is, because of the significant downhill at the beginning, people tend to get real anxious. They're pent up. They've been waiting for this moment. Some of them all their lives, so it seems, and they just take off way too fast. And I've always felt that if you can run negative splits, well, in any race, but in particular in Boston, if you can run the second half faster than the first half, as long as you run the first half fairly well, not walk it, but if you can run the second half faster than the first half, you are going to come out with a great end result. If you run the first half too fast, then you're going to be doing the survivor shuffle for the last 6 miles, and it's not pretty, right? So the idea is to be patient at Boston, more patient than almost any other marathon, because gravity wants to take you for a ride, and you've got to be careful not to go out too fast, or it's going to come back to haunt you down the road.
Well, I can do that because I specifically do not move very fast. That's one of my skills, being a mediocre paced person. But there's actually, I could finish at 6:15, but I only get to be in your record book if I finish at 6 hours, correct?
Well, it's 6 hours, from the time the last person crosses the starting line.
Okay.
So in essence, so we're going to do a rolling start this year, meaning that, the first off will be the wheelchairs, men, wheelchair women, hand cycles, duos, and then the pro men, then the pro women, then the paras athletes. And then at 9:00, we're going to start what's traditionally wave one, but it's a rolling start. So we're going to drive people from Boston to Hopkinton, drop them off. They're just going to be there 15, 20 minutes, and then we're going to cattle prod them and say, go, 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 go. And it's going to be a rolling start for 2.5 hours. So depending on what bus you get on and when you get out to the start, you take off. When you take off, you're going to have more than 6 hours to finish this race because the last person hasn't crossed the starting line yet.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? So those who start before the last person have more time to actually cover the course than the last person does, only because of the fact that we have to reopen the roads.
Okay.
Because it goes through residential communities, 8 cities and towns, and we can't just, be shutting the roads down all day.
Okay. Is there any way I could get some special, like, hey, Fitz, get on that bus?
I get it. We'll talk.
Right. I'll request some professional courtesy out there. That bus over.
Yeah, that bus over there, not this one over there. Yeah, you got it.
And what was the other question? Oh, I don't know if you saw. Did you see the beginning of this show?
No.
Oh, well, you missed out. You're going to have to go back.
Okay, I'll go back.
Because one of the things I did is I polled our viewers and said, hey, what do you think I'm doing? Do you think I'm announcing? Do you think I'm teaching a clinic? Do you think I'm running?
Yeah.
Or do you think I'm hosting the world's largest runner TikTok dance party at the expo? And almost 100% of the people thought I was hosting some sort of TikTok dance party.
Wow. So why don't you?
Well, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking it was a hot idea that, I threw it out there to throw people off, but we may have to talk about a TikTok dance party of some sort.
Hey, your game, your rules. That's my motto, right? So
Yeah,
whatever works for you.
well,
Just
no,
make it after the fact versus before. You want to be careful not to do too much before the gunfires. You want to save it for after the fact. Like with me, as you said, I run after everyone. And when I started that 34 years ago, I was relatively young. I was in my 30s, and I thought it was a pretty good idea. Now I'm like, what the heck was I smoking by doing this? Because it gets really hard. You're on your feet. I'm out at the start at like 4 a.m, on the feet all day, and then I'm on a lead motorcycle for the rest of the race, and then I'm working the finish, blah blah blah, and I'm looking at my watch, going, oh, it's time for me to head back out to the start. And I'm like, oh my God, I got to run a marathon. Haven't eaten anything, been on my feet, but it is what it is, right? So like you, with your challenges you've gone through over the, last few years and stuff, and other people on this call similarly, you just got to put your big boy pants on and say, hey, it is what it is. No one gets a free pass in life. We all have our respective challenges, whatever they may be. And it's just a matter of, making a commitment, earning the right to do it, and then fulfilling that challenge, that goal.
So I remembered what I wanted to ask. I'm so happy about that. Your race is infamous for people having to qualify. And for so often, I've heard so many people say, well, I wouldn't run Boston unless I qualified.
I understand.
And everybody's got their rule. But man, you guys do a lot of good stuff for charity. So what is the number?
Okay.
Runners like me who show up to, we're raising funds, but what is the number?
Well, the race was basically founded on the principle of the pursuit of athletic excellence. That's what the race, it was the only marathon around, number one. So obviously athletic excellence, and only very competitive athletes, runners ran in the race, because no one would think about running a marathon unless you were a bona fide, that's all I did person, was to run competitive. And then all of a sudden the race started getting too large, too big for a volunteer organization. So that's when they instituted about 40 years ago qualifying times, mainly to control the field size. But it backfired, because by instituting qualifying times, de facto, it became a race that everybody wanted to do now that might not have even thought about it. Say, hey, I'm going to BQ. I'm going to run. I'm going to qualify for that race. And all of a sudden it grew and it grew and it grew and it grew. And it got to the point where, we have to impose field size limits and whatnot. When you impose field size limits, the market value of an event goes skyrocket. When a market value goes up, the demand for the numbers go up. All of a sudden, the value of a number increases. Thus became the whole philanthropy. Enter charity, enter philanthropy. When philanthropy entered, again, another whole world opened up. People who never in their wildest dreams ever thought about running a marathon saying, hey, little Johnny next door, has a situation and I want to do this for a greater purpose, not just for me, but for little Johnny. I'm getting off this couch. They train, they work hard, they earn the right, and they do it. Now we have a delicate balance between qualified participants and charity participants. And that, it was funny because around 10 years ago, we used to kind of keep it quiet. We just didn't really feel like we wanted to let the world know. But now we say, no, we're proud of it. So it's 80% qualifiers and 20% non-qualifiers, right? And so of those 20% non-qualifiers, the greater percentage are people who are raising money for charity. And over the last couple of years, we've raised, on average, close to $40 million collectively, all the charities combined, in one Boston Marathon. I mean, that's pretty phenomenal when you think about $40 million is being raised by only a handful of runners running 26 miles. And that's what we do. So how do you even remotely think about not doing that now?
Right.
You have to do it. You have to. And I know people who qualify who don't make the cut aren't happy with the fact that maybe these non-qualifiers are taking their spot. I get it. But all I can say is then become a charity runner yourself, or you got to run faster and train harder and make the cut. So we're trying to be all things to all people here and do good on both levels.
Well, I feel like you're succeeding. I'm going to look you right in the eye, Dave, and say, I think you hit the nail on the head with athletic excellence and $40 million. That's incredible. This is Vince Varallo. Fitz,
Vince, there he is.
A lot of lives. So this is Vince's, the big jerk who changed my life last week with that call and invitation. And so I have cursed at Vince more than I've cursed at anybody in the past year. But the reality is I'm really excited.
Good for you. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. And so Boston Marathon just got a lot noisier, even without a microphone in my hand. I'm a bit of a problem. So it's a little warning in advance, Dave.
A little bit of a problem. Nice. Okay, thanks for the warning. I'll let everyone in the city of Boston know that. They're going to watch out for you.
Plug your ears. Fitz Kohler's on the course.
Are you going to be announcing as you run too?
Well, I don't traditionally do any of that, but who knows?
I did that once. I ran Boston once for a television station, and they wired me up. And I did announcing as I ran the whole thing. There's an idea.
Okay, well, I'm game for anything. I'm a multitasker, so
I'm sure you are.
We'll see if I can breathe. Then
Okay. Well, and that's a good way to kind of control yourself, because if you can breathe and you can talk, then you're going at the right pace. So, think about it.
Not suffocating, not hyperventilating. I honestly, I'm willing to do the work. I'm no stranger to hard work, so I'm actually very excited. I'm not going to get cocky, but I feel confident I will make it there healthy, and then I will cross that finish line.
The key is just avoid, obviously, injuries between now and then. It's a delicate balance between doing enough work, not doing too much work, because I think it's personally worse to go into a race overtrained than undertrained. Okay. You want to be properly trained. And sometimes that, by doing these long runs, if you're not used to it, and it just depends on how you approach it, all of a sudden my knee, my hip, my this, my that. So just be careful with all of that. And if you do start feeling something, back off. With me, I've been running for 50 years. I've run 150,000 miles, and I have no injuries. Like I said, I've run all these crazy things, as you know. And the reason being is that, I'm always sensitive about not the problem if you got, oh, my ankle, my this, my that, it's not just dealing with the problem, it's figuring out the cause. Like, why did this happen and what caused it to happen? And I have to address that. And that's what I've always done. And I've avoided getting, seriously injured. And that's why I'm able to still at 66 years old, continue to do this. So just be careful. We want to see you.
My last question before I let you go is, what should my longest run pre-marathon be?
Okay. So here's my advice about advice.
Okay.
Right? Okay. You can ask anyone what they think you should do.
Right.
But ultimately, it's really your decision, obviously. But just be careful, because my longest run might be 21 miles, and that might be a stretch, or 22 miles. That might be a stretch for you. And, that might really, you do an 18 miler and all of a sudden you're having trouble for the next week keeping your training going. So I would just really pay attention, up your miles, very patiently, get a sense for, a lot of times it's not about how you feel during that long run. That's the indicator of your fitness.
Okay.
It's how you feel the next day, or even better yet, 2 days later. That's going to tell you your level of fitness. I mean, anyone can not anyone, but almost anyone can go out there and just bang it out and like crawl across the finish line, but they did it. It's like, can you wake up the next day and run another 5 miles or 4 miles? So it's that's going to tell you your fitness level. So maybe run a 13 miler, and then all of a sudden wake up the next day and say, I feel really good. Like I didn't even run yesterday. That means you can do more. And so if you can do more, go do more. And I think it isn't just a matter of physiologically training as it is mentally and emotionally training, that you've done this before. I've been here before. It's not virgin territory anymore. If you run 22, the furthest you run is 18 miles, then when you get to 18 miles in a race, you're going to say to yourself, uh-oh, I've never gone any further than this. All of a sudden the wheels start coming off. So when I did the 7 marathons in 7 days on 7 continents, the World Marathon Challenge, I said, no way am I getting on a plane, flying to South Africa and doing that damn thing until I can prove to myself that I've earned the right to do it. So 1 week, like about 6 months before it, I ran a marathon on Monday, and I ran a marathon on Tuesday, and I ran a marathon on Wednesday around my neighborhood. I ran a half marathon on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then on Sunday, I went out and ran the Boston Marathon course. So I ran 4 marathons and 3 half marathons in a week. And I said to myself, I think I can do this now. So it's up to you to decide what you need to do to feel confident when you toe that line on race day that you're going to get this job done. You should not be afraid. You shouldn't be scared. You say, I'm confident. That's what you need.
I'm excited.
Yeah, you should be.
Tell all the unicorns.
Yahoo. All right.
Thank you for David.
Chasing the dream. All righty.
Great advice and spending time with us.
Anytime. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Wow. So can you believe it? I'm doing a marathon, and Dave's so great. One of the great things about Dave McGillivray, amongst many, is that no matter who's reaching out for help or guidance or some time, he always gives it. So thanks to Dave. So here's the deal about this race I've agreed to do. And again, I've never done a full marathon. And so many of you might think, oh, Fitz, you run marathons. I've never, ever done 26.2. The most I've ever done is 13.1. And then here's the other secret is I look a lot faster than I am. And so, it's one of the jokes is like, I look like a runner, right? I got the runner body. A few years ago, I was at the 5K or the 3K the day before the Big Sur Marathon. And it was myself with Blake. I can't remember Blake's last name, but she's an Olympic marathoner. And then Dina Castor. And all 3 of us were there. And all 3 of us were about 5'6", 115-pound little blonde chicks. and they're Olympic marathoners. And then there's me. And so it's like, don't judge the book by its cover, because they're wicked fast and they're incredible endurance athletes. And me, not so much. I mean, I'm an athlete from start to finish. My childhood was filled with sports. And then, of course, 10 years as a full contact kickboxer. That wasn't a wimpy thing to do. I was highly athletic and I could do incredible things. And the reality is all the half marathons, all the races I've done since then, I haven't trained for one, not one. I have never, ever shown up to a treadmill or a trail or left my house to train for a race. I have been fortunate to be able to pop into a half marathon anytime I wanted because I was fit enough. And to be honest with you, I think that's such a testament to a well-rounded fitness routine that I was always fit enough to do that. However, you can't get away with that with a full marathon. I think, maybe there's a couple of Navy SEALs who can show up and do the marathon without training for it, or at least do it well. But I respect the marathon distance. And I know if I don't train, it will eat me alive and I will be miserable. And all of those little weaknesses in my body from my fighting days will start screaming. So I do have a training plan. And hold on, we've got a couple of messages. I'm starting with Natalia. And yeah, after cancer, everything's a piece of cake. It's athletic adventure. It's a fun opportunity. And nothing will be as hard as those 15 months for me. So yeah, and Natalia's done a bunch of marathons, and she's also battling cancer right now, and she certainly knows the difference. Leanne, I know you guys are here for me. So this is the thing. Yes, I must train, and I will train. Yeah, Joe Raymond, you're a freak. He rolls on autopilot. Did I just lose you guys? No, I did not. Okay, good. That scared me. So I'm going to train, and I'm going to let you guys in on my training. So I said this before, but I never post my workouts. I'm never like, well, I just lifted weights and ran 3 miles. Look at that. I've never done that because my business is about you guys. But since I'm kind of a newbie or a novice at this point training for a marathon, I thought I should let you in. I should let you into what I'm doing and how it's working for me. And, there's 3 great reasons to do this race. And so I am running for a charity. It's called Second Step. It's a business. I'm actually going to read it because I want to get it right. The Second Step is a community of survivors, advocates, and volunteers who foster the safety, stability, and well-being of those who have experienced domestic violence. They provide comprehensive services, including safety planning, legal advocacy, counseling, peer support, transitional housing, and other essential services to adults, youth, and children in the greater Boston and Metro West. So I'm super excited about supporting that cause. And as you may have noticed, I don't often put my hand out for causes. So I write checks. There's runners from all over the place who are constantly like, hey, I'm doing this, I'm raising funds, and I do what I can, but I understand that people are spread thin right now, and especially after a year where so many people are out of work. Right now, I'm involved in a couple of charities that I feel strongly about, and if any of them speak to your heart and you want to contribute, great. If not, you never have to feel obligated to donate on my personal behalf. Let these be causes that you feel compelled to support. Right now, it's Second Step with the Boston Marathon, and I'm very excited about supporting them, not only raising funds with the Boston Buddies, but supporting them in other ways within my skill set. I'm working with the Girl Scouts. Girl Scouts just gave me an award, which is super nice, Woman of Distinction. And so I'll be offering opportunities if anyone wants to give to the Girl Scouts. And then there's some cancer causes. I agreed to be the chair of the local Making Strides for Breast Cancer walk in October. And I'll be working with the American Association for Cancer Research with the Philadelphia Marathon. So, there's a bunch of causes or a handful of causes that mean a lot to me. And those are great reasons to work hard and put forth the effort. But truly, I think if you're going to do a marathon, you have to be intrinsically motivated to do that for yourself. And this is I mean, it wasn't something I wanted to do in advance. I wasn't like, gee whiz, I wish I could run the Boston Marathon or any marathon, but opportunity arose. And what I do feel strongly about for me personally is athletic adventure and having a bunch of wonderful life experiences and not missing out on anything. And I'm constantly promoting to you guys that you should pursue athletic adventure and you should get up and go out and do fun things. And so I've chosen to do this for me, but I also, know what it's like to have the coach when I was a kid, the soccer coach who was in terrible shape that was telling me to run and he never ran or she never ran. And I thought, really? Because you're not doing this. And so perhaps there's a little bit of that where you guys are out there running on the course and you see Rudy and I running at the mouth. And that's great. We're good at what we do. We love what we do. And I think we play a special role in your lives because of it. But yeah, it's important to walk the walk, run the run. And, I think it's weird when someone has a race announcer who doesn't race. And I think, really? How does that guy associate or identify with our groups? I think the fact that I've hit the wall. I mean, I have an entire presentation. It's called Race Fails, Fun, and Motivation, based off of my most horrific race experience ever. And the reason that's great is because, when I'm on that microphone talking to you, I get it. I know what it's like to be you because I am you. And Rudy's you. He's a sub 3-hour marathoner and he's done bazillions of 5Ks and 10Ks and all sorts of things. So, being a part of this community is important to be well-rounded. And yeah, so I'm running it first for me. I'm running it because I'm excited to have this adventure. So it's going to be hard in that I'm okay with hard things. I can do hard things. That's my mantra and it works. I am definitely doing it to support Second Step and the Boston Buddies. I'm absolutely elated to be working with those organizations. And, third, I'm running for you. I'm running for you because I am you. And I think that matters overall. And so I'm going to share my training. And so this is what I've done so far. So I agreed to do this, I think on Wednesday or Thursday. And I thought, okay, well, I got to test it. I got to see what I can do. I can walk forever. I think that's been one of my skill sets. And I do a lot of walking, but it was the knee. When I run, my injuries cause my right knee to bow in, and then my hip hurts. It's all this stuff. So I thought, well, let's see if I can walk 10 miles. So on Saturday I went out and I walked 10 miles, just walked. And I was chasing shade. It was very hot. I'm in Florida. It was 95 that day, but went out and I did 10 full miles. And of course I had to finish up. To get home, I had to walk up that hill, which is a son of a gun. It is. They call it Killer Hill. And that hill has tried to kill me on multiple occasions. But I made it up. And the 10th mile was hard. And then I came in and I lied out like a starfish on my living room floor. And I just, like a dead person. And then I got up and I felt pretty good. So as Dave was talking about, it's about how you feel the next day. Can you function? Can you play? Can you perform? I did pretty well. I had certainly some soreness, but I went swimming the next day and did some strength training. So 10 miles, yes. And then what I decided to do, I said, okay, well, I got to do some running. So Tuesday I ran 3 miles. And then yesterday I ran 2 miles. And my pace for all of my races, if I look back at Athlinks in my history, I'm about an 11 something per mile. So maybe it's 11:15 one day and 11:30 for another day. But I'm hoping to be able to finish this race in the 11s. That would be really nice. If I can't finish it in the 11th, then I finish it in the 12th or the 13th or the 14th, whatever. But I'm going to do my best to try and challenge myself and, be an athlete again. I like that. So that's my training plan. Tomorrow morning, I am going out. There's a trail in Gainesville called the Hawthorne Trail. It's, I think, 30 miles long. It's paved and I believe it's shaded. I've been on parts of it. I'm hoping it's shaded for a long while. So I'm going to go 6 miles in one direction and then 6 miles back to my car. And I'm going to Galloway. Walk, run as I feel. And that's my game plan. But I'm on Runkeeper now. And again, I don't normally share my workouts, but here we are. I'm starting to share. Where's my stuff? So this is me. my first little loop. If you're on Runkeeper, you can follow me. I'm not real savvy with this app, but you can say nice things to me. Good job, Fitz, or you were a slowpoke, Fitz, whatever you want. But I'm going to be including my strength training. That's what I'm all about. I'm always practicing what I preach, right? I am so excited about the strength training I've been doing for the past year or so to get my muscles back. Again, I lost 13 pounds. So I put on 8 pounds, I believe 8 pounds pure muscle. I put on some face fat, thank God, because my face had gotten so scrawny. But other than that, other than my face, I put on some weight, and I think that's really going to give me the power and stability I need to go the distance without much pain. I'm not sure whether I'm going to wear the old squeaky knee brace for this event. Many of you are familiar with my knee brace. If you've run anywhere around me at a race, you have heard this knee brace who refuses to stop squeaking. Yeah, Tina, thank you. Tina's 50 marathons in 50 states. So I know you guys have some great advice, and for sure, feel free to share it. I will take the stuff that works for me and leave the rest behind. I will stretch my brains out. It's strength training, flexibility, and recovery. So I've been getting in the hot tub. I just had a wonderful massage. I have a very talented massage therapist, and I truly believe in that stuff. So yeah, I mean, I'm running the 125th Boston Marathon. And again, I don't know if Dave got excited enough. But look at this. This is a jacket I cannot wear for like 4 months, but isn't that cool? I never really paid much attention to the jacket until I got put into a position where I might be able to earn one. And it is very exciting. And I love the colors. And officially now I'm excited about unicorns. So any questions before I go? Oh, thank you. I can do it. I'm very confident. I am also confident there will be suffering and some whining along the way. For certain, there will be cursing. I'm very good at cursing. This is one of the reasons I do not run with friends traditionally, is because I like my friends, and I don't want them to hate my guts because I became a whiny brat at mile 18. Phil, Boston is the experience. Dare you not to tear up? I don't know. I'm not very sentimental. I don't know if I'm going to tear up at the finish line. I think that the arms are going to go big and high, and you're going to see this noisy mouth catching flies. I'm going to be smiling. That's for sure. Yeah. So everybody, if you want to send hate mail to Vince right here, it's his fault, his doing that I'm signing up. Geez Louise, Vince, I do owe you at least a really good pinch. But it'll be good for me. And hopefully it won't just be good for me. Hopefully it will be good for lots of people. This is the goal, right? And so I had actually spoken to the women at Second Step this morning, and I asked them to send me a link, a donation link, and they forgot to do that. So as soon as I get a donation link, I'm going to post it up somewhere. And again, if this is a cause that speaks to you, supporting survivors of domestic violence, then for certain, whether you give $1 or $1,000, that would absolutely be appreciated. And Lori brought it up. Okay, here we go. Oh, Vince, yes, hashtag I hate Vince. That's right. Everybody, it's a new hashtag, I hate Vince. Okay, so beyond the running, I will be running at the mouth very soon in a few places. So if you haven't already registered for the Buffalo Marathon, there are some spots left. There's charity spots for half and the full marathon. I believe the 5K still has spots. We would love to see you. Rudy and I will both be announcing that. It's a full-blown Team Noisy event, very last weekend of June. And yeah, come to that on July 4th. I will be in St. Pete, Florida at the brand new pier, the St. Pete Pier Run. It's a 4-miler on the 4th. You can, well, we're not having discount codes for that one. So just sign up. You get to be with me and John Pelkey. 4-miler on the 4th. Yes, Savannah is coming up. My discount code is now activated for Public Savannah Women's Half Marathon and the End Market Savannah Bridge Run. Those are incredible events towards the end of the year. The Women's Half and 5Ks in October. The Bridge Run's in December. Discount code Fitzness. That's right. Martha registered for Savannah, which I'm thrilled about. And the USATF Women's 6K Championship is July 17th in Canton, Ohio. I'm going to Canton. I've never been to Canton before. I'm super excited. I hear there's a zoo somewhere. So I may go to the zoo. I'm a little bit zoo hungry right now, but I will be there. And it's not just a championship event for the Speedster cross country ladies. It is for runners and walkers of all sizes, shapes, and capabilities. So join me. I miss you, and I'm going to need your support. Maybe we will go for a run together. I'll be training in your town, and we can run, and I will try not to assault your ears with my vulgarity and my whining. And Jenniferson, happy late birthday, Jen. All day yesterday, I was like, call Jen, and then I blew it. So publicly, I got to tell you, I love you. Happy birthday. I hope it was a great day. All right, team. Well, that is it for me. If you haven't already done so, follow me right there at Fitzness on Instagram, where I'm going to be posting all my training stuff. I think it's going to be on Instagram. It will likely go to my Fitzness page on Facebook too, but my training nonsense will be on Instagram. Follow me there, say hi there, and tell your friends, because I could use all the support I can get. I'm going to be a Boston marathoner, and then maybe we'll have that TikTok dance party. I love you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for your support. And I know you can go to sleep dreaming tonight about me looking fabulous with a unicorn on my back. All right. I love you all. Get to work. Bye, team. I'm going to dance out.